Mr. Mathias will be our first candidate to speak. He is running unopposed, so he will be on our school board. And I found out talking to him that he too is our neighbor. He lives down at Banana Point.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Mathias, and I fortunately am not running right now. I was elected August 14th in the primary by 72% of the constituents, and y'all were a very big part of that. So thank you very much, and I look forward to serving. So I'll take the next few minutes to talk about the blind mosquitoes. Have you ever seen them? Yeah, seriously. I have never seen blind mosquitoes. I live at Banana Point, so I'm your neighbor just to the north, and it's been amazing how bad they are this year. Okay, now also. Really and truly, what I want to say about the other candidates that are up here is that with your mandate of us being fiscally conservative, that look for the candidates that will support that. At the end of the day, it's going to take 3 votes to affect change. So I would urge the candidates here to endorse a conservative platform, endorse a 10% pay cut for school board members first. Let us, a fish smells from the head down, and we need to take, it takes 5 votes for that one, by the way. That the top administrators, the ones that are ranked 11th in the state in pay, in my campaign, I asked for them to take a 10% pay cut. That's $3.8 million that we can apply to our debt. The debt today, by reestablished numbers, is $466 million. That has $30 million a year that comes out of the classroom to service the debt. That in 2017, when the 1 cent option is to be removed, we will still owe $200 million. We have got to get a handle on this debt. Again, I'm looking forward to being a servant to you. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be a positive influence in the school board. Thanks so much.
Brandeburg.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosanne Brandeburg, and I was honored to be elected to the Lake County School Board District 2 seat 4 years ago, and I would love to be able to serve another 4 years. A little about myself. I have a master's degree in business administration from Nova University and a bachelor's degree in public relations from the University of Florida. I am a certified school board member. I'm the only one on the board right now with that designation. I completed over 96 hours in different coursework to become that. My son Tyler is a senior at Leesburg High School. He has gone through the Lake County school system where I got involved when he started kindergarten. I was on the parent-teacher organization and the school advisory committee, and I served as president for a few of those years. My major focuses include student achievement and gains. Lake County schools are doing better. We have a ways to go, but one of the things that you will hear is comparing us to Osceola County. Well, I want to share with you that on the FCAT exam, there are 17 different areas. Lake County outperformed Osceola County in 16 of those 17 and tied for 1. Our graduation rate in Lake County is at 82.21%. We are the highest in Central Florida, and we exceed the state average. I'm not satisfied with that, but we are heading up, not down. 6 years ago, our graduation rate was 69%. So you see that we are making great strides. We are 65 out of 67 counties and per student funding. That means only 2 counties receive less dollars than we do. We need to be working with our legislators. We need to be working with our taxpayers to let them know how we are spending these dollars and the dollars that we need. The debt service you heard was at $466 million. When I came on the board 4 years ago, it was $617 million. We refinanced 3 of our bonds, which is now saving the Lake County taxpayers $3.5 million in interest payments. We must retain and recruit excellent teachers. Our teachers are the ones in the classrooms that are teaching our children and showing them how to excel. Senator Hayden had mentioned a career in technical education. I would like to share with you that Lake County Schools has about 40 different career and tech education programs. We have healthcare academies in many of our high schools, culinary arts, automotive, digital design. The City of Leesburg just partnered with Leesburg High School to provide a $220 million grant to start a new power academy. So our seniors, are actually all of our students at Leesburg High School, can take this program and become industry certified to become a lineman. So when they graduate from high school, they could get a job with one of the utility companies starting out at about $40,000 a year. We know that not all of our students are going to college. We are putting great emphasis in this area, and we will continue to do so. Many of you are concerned about the healthcare services. There are students from Leesburg High School who are now certified nursing assistants because they took the program at the high school and now can go to work in nursing homes, hospitals, and assisted living facilities. Many of these students plan to go on to become LPNs, RNs, and go into other fields of the healthcare industry. So we are doing so much more because we do know that not all of our students are going to be college bound. Technology. Technology is ever changing. We have computers in all of our classrooms. We have piloted iPads at one high school. We have bring your own technology to school in 4 of our high schools, and that will span out to all of our high schools next year. I'm not in favor of spending $16 million to buy iPads for all of our students, whereas Houston Heights Elementary does need a new school, and we need to use those dollars to give that school the attention it deserves. My name is Rosanne Brandeburg, and I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan and George. Thank you all for being here. Sometimes we go to events and there's more candidates than voters. That's not the case here.
Bill Miller. Jim Miller.
I've been on the board for 2 years. I was District 1 representative. I'm now running. I'm the challenger for District 2. For the 2 years I was on there, it was very hard for uniform dress. And I'm the one who talks about Osceola County all the time. The reason why Osceola County 3 years ago decided they're going to have uniforms for all their kids. Now, uniforms, I don't mean sweater vests and ties. I'm talking about basically polo shirts and jeans. It's not real expensive, but it made such a tremendous impact. Basically, in 3 years, all the discipline stats basically went down by 1/3. Referrals to the office or in-class disruptions. And lo and behold, a couple years later, their grades improved. Their high school grades. High school grades are based on 50% FCAT, 50% on other measures. Their high school grades, when they started 3 years ago, they had 9 high schools, they had 60 high schools. 3 years later, they have 10 high schools, they have 8 A's and 2 B's for high school. Now, they aren't doing as well on the FCAT, but they're doing something right. They have 8 A's and 2 B's for high school. Understand, Osceola County is 70% free and reduced lunch. Osceola County is 70% minority, the first county in the U.S. to be over 50% Hispanic. So that's a tough road to hoe. If they're even close to us, they're doing a wonderful job. They had 8 A's and 2 B's. We had 4 B's, 2 C's, and a D for our high school grade. We need to do something different. So I've been pushing for that for 2 years. If you elect me, we will have uniform dress in our schools. Mr. Mathias has said, who took my spot, said he's for it. The other issue is technology. Have you seen a 3 or 4-year-old grandchild or great-grandchild use an iPhone? It's how they have a gene to do that. It just happens. It's amazing how they do that. Okay? And so they learn how to do all that stuff before they even get to school. When they get to school, we hand them pencil and paper. Just as the way the society is anymore. It worked for us, but that's all we had. To me, just have them use paper and pencil now instead of devices is like telling us, okay, we're going to teach you how to write back when we went to school. Get out your stone tablets, your hammers, and chisels. That's really how it is. We need to prepare them for their future, not our past. And things are changing. They're absolutely changing. Our Rip Van Winkle could wake up and go into a classroom and understand that he's in a school classroom. Everything else in the world has changed but our schools. We need to transform the way we do business.
is education. America is 23rd or 28th in math and science. If we keep that up, we're going to be not going to be number one militarily or economically very long. So we need to change what we've been doing. And that's kind of what I've been pushing, a little bit of change. Thank you. I'm Jim Miller. Please vote for me for school board.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson, and thank you everyone for being here. How many of you out there
Lowe.
are American veterans? Please raise your hand. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your service, for serving our country, and giving us the freedom, including mine. I was born in Vietnam. My family became political refugees in 1975, so naturally English is my second language. Our family was considered as homeless until a church in Winter Park sponsored us, give us food, clothing, shelter, and they found my father and mother a job. Within 2 years, my father was able to buy the company that he was working for. So my parents taught us the value of education and work ethic. They show us that America is the land of opportunity. I grew up in Orlando and graduated from UCF with a business marketing degree. 2 of my siblings are now engineers, and 1 of them is now a doctor. However, like my father, I am an entrepreneur. For a number of years, I owned and operated a non-emergency medical transportation company in Orlando. In the last 9 years, I was very fortunate to be able to spend time with my children and be involved in their education progress. I became a school volunteer mom when they entered elementary school, and I became very involved when they moved up to the middle school. I accumulated about 1,200 hours per year for the last 6 years. So working with the school has allowed me to understand how they operate, the problems they face, and the opportunity for improvement. Both of my boys attend Mount Dora High School. It's currently a D school. Lake County does not have an A school. As you have heard, Ms. Brandenburg had talked about the many accomplishments that our school district have done over the years, and I know that they're trying. But the fact of the matter is our school district still ranks 44 out of 67 districts in the state of Florida. Yes, you will also hear that funding is one of the biggest issues. But please understand that with the same funding formula from the state, 43 other school districts throughout the Florida are performing a lot better than Lake County School District. So I believe that our school district ranking symbolizes broader problems than Lake County School District, than the funding itself. I am running because I am concerned about the future of America, because I'm concerned that we're no longer number 1 in the world. And in order for us to take us where we once were, we need to educate our students. We need to make sure that they're being taught proficiency. As you can see, many of our students are graduating who still can't read, write, and do basic math problems. There's lack of resources in our classroom. Our students don't have books. Many of our students who sign up for math and science still don't have teachers this year. And I know that it involved one of my students and it involved a very good friend of mine. So, in order for us to compete, I think that we need to invest in our students. My top issue would be working with our school board and the student district to allocate on its allocation formula to make sure that more money goes to the classroom. And I agree with Mr. Mathias. I believe that our school district is top heavy, and I will continue to work with the school to cut costs. Please remember to vote for me. My name is Thuy Lowe.
Good afternoon, and I owe you an apology apology, I was late today. I am never late to one of these events, and a couple of
Debbie
people kind of worried.
Stivender.
I had it marked down the wrong time. Sorry. I am Debbie Stivender, and I am asking for you to support me again. You supported me 4 years ago. You supported me 8 years ago. You supported me 12 years ago. I am a prior county commissioner. Jimmy and I kind of traded places 4 years ago. The reason that I wanted to go into being a school board member is my mom is a retired teacher. My stepfather is a veteran of 4 wars. My mother-in-law is a retired teacher. I have 4 children and 6 grandchildren. I spent most of my 20s and 30s at every school that there was in Tavares, the Tavares Elementary, Tavares Middle, Tavares High. I am one of those people that believes that in order to be a good parent, you need to be involved with your students and your children. So as they moved, I moved. I was president of every organization there was. I was there every day. They knew who I was, and I made sure that my children were taken care of along with the others as well. I moved on from that and I worked for the county, Lake County government, worked in the supervisor's elections office back in 1972, then worked for the county planning and zoning where I met Dan Gordon when Hawthorne was being developed. And I worked there for a number of years and then was recruited by a private company to do consulting to help people get their permits and things that they could not get through the bureaucracy of the county. Then I decided, well, I've worked for them, I want to be one of them, so I ran for county commission, and I was blessed that you all voted for me to do that. I was there for 8 years. I came down with cancer. I am a 4-year cancer survivor, and during that last year, I was going through chemo. The doctor suggested I get out of this line of business, and I said, no, I love being a public servant. So I decided that I would step down from the more strenuous job of a county commissioner and become a school board member, which I found out is totally the opposite. There's more that goes on in the school system than you can ever believe. And one point I want to explain about that is 51% of our money comes from the state. It's not ours. We have no say-so in how we spend it. They tell us what line item to use for what. We are working with our representative, Mr. Metz, to try to get some more flexibility since he has that experience of being a school board member and having his hands tied when it comes to money. We're working with him to try to free up some of that and have some kind of sustainable revenue that we have control of, not that the state does. 49% of our budget does come from you, the taxpayers, your ad valorem taxes. So yes, we're hurting just like you are. But we have, in the last 4 years, cut back on our budget, continually cut back, and not taken the money from the schools and the classrooms. We've made sure those are taken care of, but we have cut back on other things that we don't find that are a necessity for the education of the students. The first year that we were there, we did it line by line. We made the department heads come in to be responsible for it. I have been involved with many different types of organizations all my life here in Lake County. And with that knowledge and experience and the people, the contacts, and wonderful people I've met, I went in wanting to help our employees. It's always about the students, and it should be about the students and the teachers. But the employees have never really been taken care of. They worked at facilities that did not have bus lifts. They could not take on to go to the doctor. So now we have wellness centers so that they can go during their working day. They are charged no fee for that. They have our insurance. We have moved to a different location, and we've spread out our facilities over 2 or 3 different locations in the county to make it more cost-effective to repair and work on the maintenance of the facilities that we need to be working on. And he's telling me I have to sit down. I have so much more. I have a flyer here if you'll come back and see me, and I have little Debbie cakes in case you're hungry. Thank you.
We want to thank our candidates. Just let me remind you that when we're through with the forum, we will have a chance to talk to each of the candidates, and they will be at their table. Could we have the candidates that are running for supervisor of elections come forward?